What's up everybody, Tom here with another video. In today's video, we're talking about the latest stock market news moving the markets right now. We'll also be taking a look at our technical analysis levels together for the S&P 500, Nasdaq, dollar index, Bitcoin, gold, silver, and Gamestop. The squeeze to the downside continues and we're about to hit 50. Is this where we finally find the diamond hands? Stay tuned. Alright guys, well as we always like to do on this channel, let's take a look at the last 24 hours on the stock market using the heat map here on Finviz to try to find out what might be happening next. We saw Apple up a healthy 2.58% yesterday, and this is off the back of their autonomous vehicle kind of discussion with Hyundai and Kia. We also saw the financials continue their gains, so 2.3% come out of JP Morgan, and also Exxon and energy stocks back up. When we take a look at the sectors, everything was running into the close. We do know that that's when the bigger players get started. And it was pretty weird in the morning. We had the tech stocks down, the rest of the market up. Then we had some flattening. And at the end of the day, we actually saw the Nasdaq overtake the other indices. If we have a look at which one was best, financials were best. Financials, 2.22%. Technology ended 1.6%. And we also saw energy coming out with a 1.1. So again, during this recovery phase of the market for at least financials and energy, we still expect the 3 to 6 month rule to apply like out of any one of these crisis periods where they're the ones that outperform the rest of the market over that time. And we've seen that so far. The last 3 months have been very good for the financials. We had some earnings come through as well. Snap just reported their earnings. They were down 10%, I believe, in aftermarket trade. Qualcomm also was down yesterday after earnings. PayPal did very well. And this kind of ends this week worth of earnings season. I mean, in terms of what we're seeing, we've seen some of the big players come out now. We've got a lot of returns and we know kind of the lie of the land. And generally, it's been pretty positive time for the stock market. And we can see that reflected in those all-time highs that we're about to reach here on the S&P, Nasdaq, etc. So as I mentioned, Apple may build a fully autonomous electric car with Hyundai Kia. This was a report that came out yesterday, and I think that was leading on to some strong gains in Apple. Apple was also coming off a great trend line. So if you want to look at the market, you can always see very good levels to potentially buy using great trend lines. You'll see it straight away. It's a good kind of exercise for us all to do. Load up a chart, look for the trend line. Once you see it on the daily 4-hour, you'll know what I'm talking about. We also had Elon doing the pump dump yesterday as well. He obviously posted this and we saw Dogecoin go up quite a lot. It actually started flying, and that's become a pretty common thing with Elon. When he posts these things, we've seen quite a large move. Let's get stuck into the technical analysis now. We'll start with put-call ratios. We haven't looked at this in a little while. Basically, the market calls are starting to outweigh puts again. We're seeing puts actually come back down. Remember, we've got a ratio down here, about 0.6. If we ever see put call ratios get down here and we're hitting like a level of resistance or we're hitting a strong area, that's usually the sign that we're up for maybe a down day or maybe even a small correction. Dollar index, usually a sign as well of risk off, has continued its strength. So the technical was completely correct here. We had that daily inverse head and shoulders. It's playing out very, very nicely right now. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, great compression through here. Really nice closes. Smaller time frame tests of the 90,887, and we're starting our move up to the 92. Now I had this on the weekly for us all because we take a look at this weekly 20 exponential moving average right here. It's about to hit it. The first time it hit it, it found resistance. I have this feeling that we're going to approach this 20 exponential moving average just before non-farms tonight. And we're going to be sitting right around that level, ready to either break through and get to the 92 and maybe do the whole inverse head and shoulders, or of course to be slammed back down. Non-farm payrolls is an event not to be missed. We'll be actually live streaming it like we've been doing on this channel tonight. So come join us at 11 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is about 2.5 hours before the US stock market opens. So just remember, come join us. Definitely one to watch. What has this meant for commodities? Well, it's meant that gold has been in a pretty big slump. We had this one trapped. We've definitely been talking about gold quite a lot on the channel here. It broke through and now it's kind of completed the first move that we expected. So it's moved down. You can see here it's got an exact distance of this particular channel. I thought it might go a little bit lower, like possibly down into these lows, these 1780 kind of zone. But you can see here it stopped at 1784, so that's more than enough. When you expect 1780, should we be taking 1780 exactly? No, we should generally take a little bit before to usually capture that quick, fast move. So gold's move down was very, very nice. Of course, if you're in the short, if you're in the long, that's not what you want to see, but you would like to find some form of support here. And remember, non-farm payrolls is going to be the thing or the catalyst that knocks this round tonight. Silver, very similar. Silver coming off a much better buy zone though. We saw, of course, the silver squeeze happened last week where silver went crazy up to $30. It then came all the way back down to 26. Previous resistance, previous support across the board became some more buying pressure. I saw this one hit live with the community yesterday, and when it hit that 26, it just started moving straight away. What are the next kind of levels here for silver? So you'll notice that it's coming up to a lot of problems here on the 1 hour. We've got previous supports through the 2640. It's sitting right there right now. If it gets through here though, it looks like it can really start moving and making its way up to 27. I think non-farm payrolls again is going to be the catalyst that pushes silver either way. Either it goes up and goes back to hopefully testing those 30s, or we start to push even further down as the US dollar rises. We mentioned Elon before we get into the stocks. Dogecoin, take a look at this. We had that pump, then you always get the Elon dump, which comes after the pump. It's usually a very quick pump dump kind of scenario. Take a look at what happened there. We had a very nice role reversal area here on the Dogecoin. We went through this last night. Resistance becomes support. We had the hammer and now it's gone back up, hit the resistance, and probably will continue to come back down. Remember, this coin is well known for its fast, vigorous moves. So that's a very nice little level, and I'm glad if people did analyze that correctly, because remember, even if you don't believe in this kind of thing, if you're trading it and you've got stop losses, you can always get in, get out, and then of course move on to the next one. Before we get into the market, also want to talk about Bitcoin. We saw Bitcoin hit a really nice level, guys. 38,000 was reached. We saw it breach a little bit, but not too much, and then come back down. It's important it does come back down a little bit here and have a bit of a breather before its next move. You'll notice we've got the 20 exponential on the 4 hour starting to make up with it. And if we go to a 1 hour chart, it's basically starting to, I would guess you'd say, flag at this point. We've got like some resistance through here, and on the bottom end, we've got like a little trend line here as well. So it's starting to consolidate and coil. If we get a breakout to the upside, we're going to snap that Elon high off, the Elon Musk candle high off, and we probably see it go back to 40,000, if not break 42 plus, because I think it's had that normal larger consolidation move. If we continue to see downside pressure and it breaks through, comes back down here, and there's still the 34,500 zone should act as heavy buying pressure. We'll also have a 200 simple moving average here on the 1 hour, and other moving averages all sitting around this level. So basically, for Bitcoin, it's coiling for now. The longer it coils, the better it is. And then if it does break out to the upside, I expect it to be explosive as always. A lot of people are moving money into cryptocurrencies after this AMC, GME kind of thing. People are feeling pretty burnt by the system. Of course, all of these trades were built on sentiment. And as we say in our live streams all the time, if sentiment's broken, guys, what happens? People get fearful. And unfortunately, because this was a retail community moving it forward, as soon as we got fearful after it wasn't snapping back, because Robinhood and others banned us from being able to trade, we got rid of the sentiment. We haven't been able to hold a level. If we take a look here at Gamestop, you'll notice that it's really come down hard. Unfortunately, yesterday it was down 42.11% and then a further 6.19% after hours. That puts us right on the psychological zone of 50. You would have to think that some people will be interested in just it because of the psychological zone, but this is really the last time we even saw market structure before all of this really big move out began. 41.61 kind of zone. Will we reach that tomorrow? I hope not. I hope 50 holds just because it's psychological, but this is getting pretty brutal, and I haven't seen much of a real retracement through this. We saw that initial snapback, and then since then, the bull rallies have been really weak, and we need to see better bull rallies, and that's up to, of course, people really believing in the movement and being able to trade itself. They need to be able to actually trade these pairs. All right, let's talk about this stock market. So here we are, stock market, S&P 500 reaching the zone. Wow, wow, wow. We're about to reach that all-time high. I think we basically did 38.70. We've got it on the real SPX. We still have our trend line to the upside. This unfortunately was not as big a correction as we would hoped. Of course, it did come down 170 points to the 3,700. But really, in a healthy correction, it should have come back down to these previous peaks. And I still think this means we're going to get a 38.250 fib further correction at some point this year, whether it be later in Feb or March, I'm not sure. But for now, things are looking very, very bullish. If we continue to move up and we get to new highs, 39.20, hitting the peaks of this trend line. I think this trend line on the real market, the SPX, is well worth having on your charts. You can just see how good it's been at predicting take profit zones over the last couple of times, and it's still incredibly valid in the market. So definitely have this one on there. And I think for Friday, ahead of non-farms, this is why the market's closed here. It's anticipating that non-farm payrolls result. What would happen if it was bad and the market didn't like it? Of course, then we start to move off. And then if we do decline and we get through this intervening trough, then all of a sudden we're creating a fairly large double top. So just remember, the reason why the market comes to these zones, it's anticipating a good result. If that result is not so good, then all of a sudden things really turn around. So that's why we're sitting at those highs. It's the same for the Nasdaq, the same story. Imagine this. It shorts down, buys up, ahead of the result, then shorts down again, creates a giant double top. That's going to mean a fairly large correction. If the news result is good, what does this give us an opportunity to do as traders? Well, we can come in as day traders, wait for the close high, and then we've got a 1, 2, 3 resistance. So when it comes back and tests, that's going to be a great roll reversal round the 13,600 and gives us the ability to go long again, possibly to the 13.7, 13.8, even 14,000 for the Nasdaq. So a lot comes down to the non-farms tonight. You can just see the market is anticipating that so much. If people don't know where the non-farms is, go to forexfactory.com, not affiliated with them at all. Go and put in the economic calendar, set it for your time, and you'll notice here we've got the non-farm payrolls employment change, which is for me on Saturday 12:30, but of course for Americans it'll be Friday before the market open. We'll be live streaming it here on the channel, and make sure you follow that. Just a couple of quick things. We are on TradingView now. We're posting little snippets. You'll notice here we posted that we thought 38,000 would happen on Bitcoin, the US dollar breakout as it was happening, and then of course our thoughts on the broader term Ethereum. We'll be posting a whole bunch of things here on the FX Evolution TradingView, so definitely follow us there. And also we've got some t-shirts for the Diamond Hand Squad. Definitely check out the description below if you're interested in those. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe. Of course, hit that like button, and we'll see you tonight live for our final live this week before non-farm payrolls. It's going to be a good one. Join us there. Peace out, guys.